I'm Adriana from Enlightened Birth and Beyond, and today I wanted to share my birth story with you. So my story started with watching a close friend go through a really traumatic birth. She was induced at 37 weeks, had what we like to call a cascade of interventions, and then 2 days later got her beautiful baby boy. But after that time, she was feeling pretty horrible when it came to physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I walked out of the hospital just thinking, this isn't how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be able to have beautiful, healthy babies. So she then had mentioned to me about hypnobirthing, and I thought, no, that's just for hippies. I don't really want to be, looking at spirals or being under the control of someone else while I'm in birth. It's not what it's about, and I now know that. I did my research, watched a whole heap of documentaries, read lots of books and articles, talked to lots of different people, and then came back to the Hypnobirthing Australia program. Completely aligned with my now values about, most of the time we can have a natural birth, and about feeling empowered by the birth of your baby. So then we fast forward, I suppose, to the point where I actually became pregnant. So with Lincoln, we had planned on starting to try officially in June, and I found out on the 2nd of April that I was pregnant. Bit of a surprise, but we weren't being careful. We weren't trying, but we weren't not trying. So a very pleasant surprise that it was that easy for us. We're very thankful. We had just put our house on the market, so the plan was to have sold and found a new house by the time I would be trying for a baby, and we thought it would take a while to conceive. We thought that would all be out of the way, but instead we had just got the house listed and found out we're pregnant. So it added a little bit of extra stress, but we got there. I did the Hypnobirthing Australia course with a practitioner in Adelaide, had a great time. She was extremely helpful. I felt really excited and confident about my birth. I wanted to birth in a country hospital. I wanted a water birth. I didn't think I'd need pain relief, but I wasn't completely closed to the option if that came up during my birth. Had passed my glucose test. Everything was going great. Seemed really healthy. And then at 32 weeks, I started getting itchy palms and itchy soles of my feet. So I went into my doctor, had some tests, ended up getting called into the hospital. I got diagnosed with obstetric cholestasis, which means that my liver was producing too much bile acids and they were crossing my placenta. So I was admitted, and I started medication straight away. And after a few days in hospital, my levels had come down. I got released, but I needed to continue with twice weekly monitoring at the hospital and blood tests. And they said, yep, okay, your levels have come down, but we want to induce you at 37 weeks. I asked lots of questions, and in the end, I was very happy with that decision, very confident that that was the right decision for me and my family. So then I guess we fast forward to 37 weeks. I went into the hospital on a Monday afternoon at about 4:30, and I knew from my research and from my friends' experience as well. Sorry, that's my dog having a dream. One of my dogs having a dream. So I knew from my experience that I would not be having my baby Monday night, and probably not early Tuesday. I knew I was quite prepared for what was going to happen. So Monday night I got admitted. Someone come and checked, gave me a vaginal examination, and they said that they could put the balloon catheter in. So I had a balloon catheter inserted. My husband went home for the night. We thought, yeah, everything will kick off tomorrow morning. A couple of hours later, my balloon catheter fell out. And this moment for me was really hard because as much as I had put in the work and, you know, done everything I could to have the best birth possible and to not have the birth that my friend had, this was exactly what had happened with her. Her balloon had fallen out. So when this happened, I did spiral a little bit. I thought, oh no, the same thing is happening to me. And then I had one of the lead midwives came in and she said, oh no, it wasn't inserted properly, so we'll insert another one. And this hadn't happened for my friend. She actually went on then to have the gels. So when they inserted the second balloon catheter, I was like, no, this is my story. I'm going to own this. This is not my friend's story. This is my story. I've done all the work. I know that I have the ability to do this. I just need to continue to work, put in the effort, do what we've practiced in my hypnobirthing course, release and let go, let my body do what it knows how to do. So had the second balloon catheter inserted and almost straight away I could feel it was working. I'm a bit ashamed to say that I should have started the Hypnobirthing Australia techniques then and there, but in my mind, for whatever reason, I had felt that this wasn't labour, this was just preparation for labour. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did get up out of bed and I did rock my hips and that helped. I listened to my tracks, that really helped me, but it also meant that on that Monday night I'd only had about 1 hour sleep, and that was a concern for me going into labour, knowing that I wasn't well rested. I look back on that now and I think that's just silly, because if motherhood teaches you one thing, it's how strong you really are. You can go on no sleep, you can be sick, your child can be sick, everything can feel like it's falling to pieces and you make it through. But because we're strong, we don't give up, we just keep going, and we get it done, no matter what the circumstances are. So, alright, back to the story. So I'd had 1 hour sleep. I had woken up, I think I slept from 4 till 5 a.m. I'd woken up, kept listening to my tracks, didn't really feel anything after that. My husband came and the hospital staff were talking about when they were going to take the balloon catheter out and how it was going to work with the timing, because I'd had one and it had fallen out and I'd put another one in. And at the end of the day, I went to the toilet. I should say at the end of the day. It was like 8:30 in the morning. I went to the toilet and my balloon catheter fell out, and I could see this time that my mucus plug was attached to it. So I showed the balloon catheter to the midwives and they said, yeah, that looks pretty good. They ended up giving me another examination and I was 3 centimetres dilated. So that meant that I was all ready to go for the next step in an induction process, which was the breaking of my waters. We had a chat about how long they would wait between breaking my waters and starting the syntocinon. So because I was a first-time mum, they were very keen to start that straight away. They said they could give me up to an hour or two waiting, but my concern at that point was that I'd only had 1 hour sleep and I didn't want to delay, like if it wasn't going to work statistically, if I was going to have trouble, that was an extra couple of hours potentially that I would be waiting before I would get a next chance to rest. I look back again, silly, because we're strong, we've got this. Most women who go into labour naturally don't sleep well before they go into full active labour anyway. So yes, probably would have done that differently in retrospect, but in my story it all worked out anyway. So I decided to have the syntocinon straight away. So they put the IV in the catheter and they gave me the syntocinon straight away, broke my waters, gave me syntocinon. It was a little while before I started feeling any contractions, but fairly quickly they started coming on, as most people with syntocinon will tell you, quite rapidly, quite intense and quite close together. They had to make sure that I was having the right number of contractions for the right duration in the right period before they would class me as active labour, and it was about 12:30 before lunchtime before they decided, no, not 12:30, that was when the contractions first started. It would have been like 3 o'clock when they decided I was in active labour. So from then they gave me 4 hours before my next vaginal examination, and during that time I was on a cub and would sort of sit down and rest leaning my head against the bed, and then would stand up for contractions. It had gotten to a point where I would just like talk to them. I did start talking to them between contractions, but then as they got more intense and closer together, I was just in my own little zone, listening to my affirmations, my positive birth affirmations. That was what was working for me. My husband was giving me light touch massage on my back the whole time. I still had a dress on. This is one of my concerns about labour. When I was doing the course, I was like, at what point do you get rid of all your clothes? Like, how do we do skin to skin and the baby's been born if I'm fully clothed? Like, worried about all this stuff. Didn't need to. Didn't think that I would be the type of person that would like to be completely naked during my labour, but definitely was. I had told myself that to get in, like, they said I could get in the shower. They we put the electronic scalp clip on my baby's head because it would give me more movement and less interference from midwives and other staff during my labour. So that's what we decided to do. And they had said that meant I could get in the shower. But I told myself that I wanted to get to that 4-hour check before I got in the shower, because it meant that I had something up my sleeve as well. So kept going, standing up, sitting down next to the bed for that 4 hours. And then at the 4 hours, they told me I was 6 centimetres. And I know that to some people that might seem like a lot, some people it might not. And to me, I was like, if I've gotten 3 centimetres in 4 hours, it's going to take me at least another, 4. If I keep going that way, in 4 hours, I might be at 9 centimetres. It might take me another couple hours after that to have this baby. If I do that, exactly what I've been doing for that period of time, I'm going to be really tired at that point. And the only way I'm going to get a break from this is if I have my baby, or if I get an epidural. So that was my thinking. That was the only thought I'd really had about pain relief. I was quite fine with what was happening in the moment, but I had thought, if this is going to go on for a long time, I'm probably going to have some trouble. So I stripped off and I got in the shower. I messaged my student midwife to come in. And once I was in the shower, I got into my own little routine of just sitting down on the shower chair again to rest in between contractions, standing up and leaning up against the wall with the shower nozzle on my front for my surges, my contractions. And I was quite happy doing this. I was quite comfortable. I remember when I first got in and I was doing that whole the cervical dilation math, I thought to myself, no, you know what, you've read all the stories. You can go from 2 centimetres to 10 centimetres in like an hour. Like, labour doesn't actually progress that whole 1 centimetre an hour like some hospitals and doctors think. It can do whatever it wants. So you can't do the math, Adriana. You just need to get out of your head, let your body do what it wants to do. Just take each contraction at a time. And that's what I did. And like I said, I was quite happy. Just sitting down, standing up, having my little contractions or waves. And then I was thinking, I know that I'm going to get to transition, that 8 to 10 centimetres, and I'm going to feel like I'm going to need some pain relief, or that I want to go home, or that I can't do it, I'm going to lose it at some point. And I thought to myself, I'm so excited about getting there, because I know that I'll be 8 to 10 centimetres and that my baby's coming out. Oh, that's my baby as we speak. So as you can see, this is pretty much why I've put off doing this vlog for so long. because every time I sit down to do it, I get a little bit distracted. Someone else needs me. Alright, so yep, had thought, yep, alright, I'm going to get to transition, and that's when I'm going to feel like I'm going to lose it, but then I know that that's when I'm going to have this baby. So excited about getting there. I've just been sitting down, resting again, and then standing up, having my surge, and then sitting down again, just taking each one as it goes, feeling like I can feel my baby moving down, definitely visualizing that. And each surge, feeling like I can feel his head go down, feeling like I can feel my uterus push him down and move a little bit. So I'm going, waiting to get to transition. All of a sudden, I've stood up for my contraction, doing my surge breathing, and all of a sudden, it was like I was winded. My body just like pushed. And the midwives come in and they were like, oh, can you try to not push? And I'm trying. I'm really focusing hard on doing my surge breathing. And then all of a sudden again, my body just like kicks. Like my uterus is like, nope, this is what's happening. I'm doing this. So they left me to it for a little while. And then they told me that I needed to get out of the shower and get on the bed because they thought I was pushing on my cervix. They didn't think I was fully dilated and that I was pushing on my cervix. So I very reluctantly, someone turned the shower off on me. They kind of shepherded me into the other room, into the bed. And it took me a long time to get on the bed because being on my back on the bed was painful. Probably because in my head I didn't want to be there. I got on the bed, and as soon as they spread my legs, they were like, no, there's his head. All right. They told me I needed to push him out pretty well straight away. He was starting to show some signs of distress. The doctors were getting a bit concerned. They were pretty much waiting at my door to come in and intervene. So they said, if you can stand up right now and push him out right now, that's what we're going to do. So I stood up on one side of the bed. My husband stood up on the other. He held my hands. We held hands for the bed. And I did a bit of a squat, and within a matter of minutes, pushed him out. Unfortunately, a bit more coach, which was a bit different compared to letting my body just naturally, involuntary push him out. It was a bit different, but got there. Funny moment when I did my poo, I had my midwife standing behind me, and in my head I'm thinking, oh, sorry, like there's a bit of poo coming out right now. Like, can you just get that? Like, I couldn't say that, but because I was so in the zone. But sure enough, like I just felt her gloved finger go up and swipe my little bit of poo, and I don't think I saw her, but I know she walked over to the bin by the door and put it in and got some more gloves, come back. Pushed Lincoln out. He's gotten handed to me through my legs, and I've brought him up to my chest. I've got this fresh new baby held to me, and one thing I wasn't really prepared for was the amount of blood that would come out. So my husband's a bit squeamish, and when he heard it, I had seen it because I was looking down, had seen all this blood come out, and my husband had heard it. I'd stood up to sort of say, you might want to get out of the room, and he'd already gone. He was already halfway out. So yeah, he stood up and waited out there. I've got my fresh little baby in my arms, and all the midwives was like, I was just trying to get me into bed, and I'm looking on the floor thinking like, I've got this fresh baby, I've got all this blood around me making the floor really slippery, and I've got all these cords attached to me from all the monitoring. I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to move and get into a bed right now. But then, yeah, managed to get in there. Had to have active management of my placenta. But yeah, I was completely fine. Loved up with little Lincoln. And yeah, got to just enjoy those cuddles. Husband made it back into the room eventually. And then I got up when Lincoln, after like an hour, they weighed Lincoln and measured him, and before that I cut the cord, sorry. And then, yeah, they weighed and measured him, and I had a shower. And then I got out the shower and had our first photos together, and then walked off to the postnatal ward and had our first night together. So yeah, that, I guess, in an essence, is our birth story. I hope you liked it. It's something that I will definitely, if you attend a course with me, will definitely hear more of, as I relate a lot of the things that I did during my labour back to the tools and techniques in the course. So yeah, thank you for listening. Bye.